Welcome back to this in-depth review of Lenovo's newly announced LOQ Gaming laptop. This new series fits right between the cheaper IdeaPad Gaming Series and the more expensive Legion Gaming Series.
This laptop has a Ryzen 5 7640HS processor that has 6 cores and 12 threads. It has RTX3050 graphics card that comes with 6GB RAM and a 95W TGP. It came with 8GB DDR5 5600MHz RAM, but I upgraded it to 16GB RAM for testing. The screen is 15.6-inch IPS Full HD with 144Hz refresh rate and 350 nits of peak brightness. It came with 512GB NVMe QLC M.2 storage and a 60Wh battery. The laptop supports Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.1.
This particular build costed me $730 plus taxes, which is about 65,000 rupees. But it's worth mentioning that you can configure this laptop with even better specs if you crave the performance. So keep an eye out on the description box below for latest deals. The LOQ Gaming laptop is offered in a single color option that they call Storm Grey, and it features a completely plastic build. But don't let the plastic fool you. Despite the plastic, it has good build quality and feels premium. Lenovo has borrowed the chassis from the IdeaPad Gaming Series while adding a premium matte finish to it. This results in a laptop that feels both sturdy and elegant. There is little keyboard flex and absolutely no base flex. The hinges are robust, preventing any screen wobbling while typing. Not to mention, the slightly extended lid makes it a breeze to open it with one finger. Although the screen does have slight flex to it, it's not really noticeable in video calls or conferences. Lenovo has also done a good job in controlling the size of this machine. It weighs around 2.4 kg and has the following dimensions. The charger included in the box is quite slim and elegant looking despite the 170W output. Now let us move to ports and connectivity.
The left side has a USB-C port along with a 3.5mm headphone jack.
The Type-C port can be used to charge the laptop at up to 140 watts. According to Lenovo's website, the right side has a USB 2.0 Type-A port, but upon checking the device manager and the Lenovo's included quick setup guide, it is actually a USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type-A port.
There is also an electronic privacy shutter that disables the camera from the software.
The rest of the ports are at the back side between the two exhaust openings.
This includes two USB-A 3.2 Gen 2 ports, a Gigabit Ethernet port, an HDMI port, and a proprietary charging port.
All in all, this is a very capable set of I/O for most users. However, it's worth noting that a Thunderbolt port is missing. This may be a drawback for users who rely on Thunderbolt peripherals. Moving on to the connectivity, this laptop supports Wi-Fi 6 along with Bluetooth 5.1. But do note that this is the Realtek adapter, which is proven to not be that reliable over the years, so you can consider upgrading it to the Intel card for $50 or so. Now let's shift our focus to the laptop's performance, the area where it truly shines. The AMD Ryzen 5 7640HS processor is based on AMD's latest Gen 4 architecture. It boasts 6 cores with a base clock of 4.3 GHz and a boost clock of up to 5 GHz. This laptop is configured with a full 54W TDP, resulting in complete utilization of all cores. In Cinebench R23, this laptop scored about 13,000 points in multi-core and about 1700 points in single-core. As for Geekbench 6, this laptop scored about 2500 points for single-core performance and about 10,000 points for multi-core. These scores put this CPU well above the Intel Core i5-12500H and just below the Intel Core i5-13500H. This means this CPU will perform great in single-threaded tasks as well as multi-threaded tasks. Coming to the GPU, the RTX3050 in this laptop is configured with a full 80W TGP along with a boost up to 95 watts. This is paired with 6GB VRAM for your gaming needs. But what about thermals, you ask? Well, the thermals on this laptop are to the point. Even with stress tests such as Firmark running for extended periods of time, the CPU temps remain below 90 degrees Celsius and the GPU remained below 75 degrees Celsius. Lenovo has clearly prioritized efficient cooling in this laptop, going as far as to include special cooling brackets for the DDR5 RAM slots. So you can game as long as you want without worrying about overheating. But let's get to the fun part, the gaming performance. This LOQ gaming laptop features both a mux switch along with advanced Optimus technology. This ensures optimal gaming performance even when you are playing on the internal display.
First up on the list is the classic that we all know and love, GTA 5. In GTA 5, the performance was very good overall. I set all the settings to max, the quality was as high as it could get. In this case, I got an average FPS of about 90 and 1% lows of about 60. This means that you will get pretty smooth performance even at the max settings, as even the 1% lows are around 60 FPS. Further, you could reduce the quality a bit to get to that 120 FPS or 144 FPS for that silky smooth performance and to take advantage of the display. Next up is a proper AAA demanding title known as Doom Eternal. In this game, the Nvidia 360 6GB variant really shines. This is because to play this game at the high quality preset like I did, you require at least 5.6GB of dedicated VRAM. However, in the 4GB variant of the GPU, you could not play this. Even though you had the power to do it, you were restricted because of the dedicated RAM. In this case, I could play this game in the high quality preset pretty smoothly. It averaged about 80 FPS with 1% lows at around 65 FPS. This again means 1080p gaming is not an issue even with AAA titles. Now let's move to some day-to-day games that we all play, like Valorant. In Valorant, for example, even the highest settings as expected, it ran silky smooth. There was no lag, no stutter, not at all. In most cases, you were getting over 130 frames, that is represented by the average of about 140 frames per second. Here is where you can really use the laptop's 144Hz refresh rate display and make the most use out of it. You'll get absolutely silky performance that will make your gameplay extremely good. Last up, we have the most popular and the least demanding game of all, Minecraft. Minecraft is a game that can be as demanding as you want it to be. It can be played on an extremely crappy machine as well as on the most high-end machine you can buy. This here, I have Minecraft running with Silder's highest quality shaders, and as you can see, the performance is not the best, but it's definitely playable and good enough for Minecraft. It is averaging about 60 frames per second with 1% lows of 30 frames. This means that you will definitely feel stuttering, but it will be controlled and very much playable. However, lowering the shaders even to medium shaders or high quality shaders would get you above that 60 frames per second and to 1% lows that are about 40 or 50 frames per second. In regards to Minecraft bare bones, no shaders, no texture packs performance, then if you set your chunks to 25 or 30 chunks render distance, then definitely it will struggle if you're flying around everywhere and loading new chunks. Because just rendering 30 chunks at that rate takes up a lot of CPU performance and the CPU would be the bottleneck there. However, in most cases you will just be around the area you are mostly in, or you might set your render distance to 8 or 10 chunks. In that case, it will be perfectly fine and you will have silky smooth performance at 400 FPS or something.
And despite the name, it's not just the gamers who benefit from such a laptop. Even heavy users such as photo editing and video editing can benefit from a powerhouse like this. So, here are some benchmarks for the geeks. Now let's turn our attention to the input devices. This laptop features a full keyboard layout complete with a number pad and full-size arrow keys. Although it does not have the RGB lighting offered on most gaming laptops, it does have a solid white backlight. However, I found the white backlight to be a bit too bright even in the lowest settings for use at night. The keyboard keys have ample travel but lack a satisfying typing experience. The clicks are quiet and very membrane-like. There's no difference between the feel of a standard key press and that of a spacebar. Despite these drawbacks, the keyboard's anti-ghosting feature is a nice addition. It allows you to press as many keys as you want without facing any issues of missed inputs. I have tested this by pressing more than 15 keys at once without any missed inputs. Coming to the trackpad, it is a plastic multi-touch trackpad, but despite being plastic, it's smooth and easy to use. It has a decently large size and offers a smooth experience overall. Both the keyboard and the trackpad are adequate for the purpose, but nothing to write home about. This laptop has a 15.6-inch IPS LCD Full HD display that supports 144Hz refresh rate for all your gaming needs. Many budget laptops usually cheap out on the display, making it practically useless. However, this panel is of relatively good quality and offers a good experience overall. With a peak brightness of 350 nits and an anti-glare coating, it is adequately bright for most scenarios. Another positive is that it can get really dim when needed at night. Finally, to add to the gaming experience, it supports both AMD FreeSync and Nvidia G-Sync to avoid screen tearing when playing games. However, this panel is not suited for tasks such as color correction because it only covers 45% of NTSC color gamut. The MI laptop that I used before had better viewing angles. However, they are good enough to not cause any major issues. Overall, the display quality is above average and provides a good gaming and multimedia experience. Talking about storage, this laptop has a single 512GB NVMe SSD. This is the smaller M.2 2242 type drive. Its speed is around 4000 megabytes per second of read and 1500 megabytes per second of write. Here is crystal disk mark for reference. Talking about expandability, this laptop comes with dual slots, so there is a free M.2 slot available in future for expandability. With these speeds, you can expect snappy performance in day-to-day tasks such as app launches and hassle-free file transfers. When it comes to memory and storage, this laptop came with 8GB DDR5 RAM with 5800 MHz of speed. However, the memory included in this was the slower X16 layout. Fun fact, all DDR5 RAM with 8GB capacity have the X16 memory layout. If you want to get the faster X8 memory layout, you have to get a stick of 16 gigs or higher. These 8GB DDR5 sticks have really high memory timings, 46, 45, 45, 90 to be precise. AMD systems really like tighter timings. So, in the future, try upgrading the RAM to something that has tighter timings, more like 30 or 20. Now let us discuss the audio quality. This laptop comes with a dual speaker setup that is tuned by Dynamic Audio. This offers decent audio experience with detailed customizations. I found these speakers to be really tuned for gaming. They sound extremely good while gaming, but on day-to-day content surfing, I think it lacked clarity in the vocals. So for a better audio experience, I recommend using headphones or earphones in general. Also keep in mind that this AMD CPU comes with the latest generation integrated GPU. These GPUs are seriously powerful, almost at par with the entry-level dedicated GTX level GPUs. So stay tuned and hit that subscribe button for an in-depth look at these next generation integrated GPUs. Let's see what is powering this machine. It has a 60 Wh battery rated for 9.5 hours of video playback at 150 nits. However, in real life, expect about 6 to 7 hours of screen on time in day-to-day tasks and about 2 to 3 hours of screen on time when gaming. Also, don't forget to plug in the 170 watt included adapter while gaming or doing heavy tasks because it won't perform up to the mark without that. Lastly, the icing on the cake is that Lenovo has gone the extra mile to develop really easy to use software called Lenovo Vantage.
So here is the Lenovo Vantage software and I'll quickly go through the most important stuff. First of all, we have the thermal mode settings. Here you can change the way your laptop's fan speed changes with changing temperatures.
You can also customize your power limits for your CPU and GPU, which is really cool and something you should tinker with in your free time. Further, the second most important thing is the GPU working mode. Here, the DGPU mode is the only way you can trigger the mux switch. You can either do this from the BIOS settings or from here. This is much easier. And there are a lot of other modes for daily tasks as well. Further, you also get a really cool battery widget which you can use to toggle on and off some features like rapid charge. Coming back to the Vantage software, we also get customization such as macro keys and dynamic audio tuning right here. So overall, this is a really good piece of tech developed for Legion, but as you can see, it is also available on the LOQ gaming laptops.
To wrap things up, Lenovo's LOQ gaming laptop is a great choice for gamers and power users. Considering its performance, sturdy build quality, above average display, and no blaring cons, it's hard to find a laptop this good at this price point. So, what's my final verdict? Should you go right ahead and buy it, consider it, shortlist it, or avoid it? Well, I reckon you should go right ahead and buy this laptop if you find it anywhere under $850 with taxes. So, I know it was long, but here we are finally at the end of it. If you liked this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and do leave a comment.